So the design philosophy behind a Saxdor, it's actually more than just a commuter boat. It's about time. It's about time with your family. It's about time with your mates, and it's about time for you. So through creating a really efficient design and eliminating all the unnecessary bits, Saxdor are trying to give you that time. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how a regular day can do that for you on a Saxdor 320 GTO. So your day starts with easy boarding. Starting at the bow, you've got a grip pad and super simple access if you're med moored, and the stern, you have really easy access as well. It is also possible to step on board over the side, over both of the drop-down wings. So those are your options to get on board. Next thing, you have the covers. The covers on this boat are separated. So you have the aft seating area, you have the center console, and then the forward sun lounge. Now those covers are broken up into individual covers, so you can put them back on when the wind is blowing in the afternoon. If you have a whole boat cover, not only is that really hot and sweaty and hard to put in place, but it will catch the wind. So if you break them up into smaller sections, easier to do, fold them up and then put them in their own dedicated storage spot, which I'm going to show you in a second. Then you just get straight to it. So it's all about activating the batteries, which are located immediately underneath the helm. So under the driver's seat, you just have 4 switches just here, and you have starboard, port, service, and bow thruster. Just switch them on, and then you've got power. Your main battery panel or power panel is downstairs, so you can check all your fuses and turn on individual items down there, but just for the operation of the boat, when you have these batteries on, you're actually ready just to do a key start and get going. So with your keys in, you can just go to the on position, then check that you're all clear at the stern of the boat and lower your engines. With the engines lowered, you can go for a start and then basically activate power on your bow thruster, and your day is ready to go. So with the engines rolling, you're ready to rock and roll, but you do need to sort out your guests. So underneath this locker storage area here, you've already stowed all of your covers for the boat. You do have quite a bit of extra space, so large items can go down there quite conveniently. I'd suggest this storage area here is better used for safety gear because it's a nice big voluminous area and it's easy to access in an emergency. Underneath the floor, just here, you do have another massive amount of storage. That's going to be great for your fenders. I would put them there, central part of the boat, very easy to access. So when your friends have got their drinks and all of their foodstuffs ready for lunch, basically put the bags on the table here and then stow the fridges on port and starboard if you have both fridges. Your drawers in the middle are great for some pantry items and some stuff for lunch. And then the duffel bags, once they have been emptied, just go downstairs on the bed. Shoes are going to come off as well. The perfect place for shoes are underneath the forward helm seats. So there's a nice little storage area under there. Shoes will just sit nice, conveniently out of the way, and that's a good place for them. And any phones that need to go on charge, well, they've thought of that too. There's a dedicated phone charging area up the front and out of the way. So you've decided to move. It was that easy, and we're at our next destination. First things first, you're going to need to anchor the boat. So when you are doing that, you just need to hold your finger down on the lock button and then you press down. Do be quite confident with it with the first few seconds because the mechanism itself makes a bit of a noise as it's deploying. So you just want to keep your finger on the button and it's going to work. It's really good, and we'll cut to some shots of that so you can see. Next thing, you want to set the boat up into social mode. So it's going to be all about the terraces because this is one of the main features of this 320 GTO. It's about expanding your usable space. So you just want to release this button or depress this button here. Make sure you have port and starboard terraces selected. So I'm going to do the starboard, and we have up and down. So I want to press the lock button, or unlock in this case, and then I'm doing the starboard terrace down, and that's what you do. So on the starboard side, it's a one-man job. On the port side, you might want to get someone else to depress this button first before you electrically lower the terrace. And it's as simple as that. So look at that, we've got all this usable space. So now it's time to focus on the seating. So the seating configuration is quite clever on the 320 GTO. When you're going fast, guests may want to face forward, so you have the option. This actual seat here, the whole console will slide forward and aft. So it allows you to reverse the seating direction and face aft and have plenty of space around the table. Or, like now, we've set it in the central position and face forward to allow people to enjoy the ride. But when you have reached your next destination, it's just 2 pins on some sail track and slide this whole console forward and then flip the seat back to the other side and release the pins to adjust the backrest into the correct position. That then enables you to have both seats facing the table and the table leaves deployed, ready for lunch. After lunch, and when you want to get into some sun lounging, you then have another option. That's when both of these seat backs fold down and center with the table lowered, and the whole thing turns into one ginormous sun lounge. So you've decided on your seating selection, whether you want them forward, after, in sun lounge mode. It's time to have your lunch. We're all sorted on the 320. So just underneath this panel here, we got a stainless steel sink, cold water, we got a cutting board just here, and you do have an optional cooker just here. 3 drink holders on either side. They're deep and wide, so you can put large drinks in there if necessary. Down in the middle, we have 2 drawers, decent size, and that's going to put all your picnic wear will go in there quite comfortably. And on starboard and port, we have the fridges. So these are stainless steel fridges, and you will be able to put stand-up bottles of wine in these fridges if you need. So coming forward, let's just have a quick chat about the helm, and I'll explain to you some of the finer details here. The helm itself, very, very ergonomic, super easy to use, and I love that the throttles are set back. So from a driver's perspective, you're centrally located, you step down a few inches so you're protected, but your access to the side decks is excellent. We've got our trim tabs just here and our bow thruster after that. Little trick, if you're operating the boat, so you don't need to look down at the trim tabs. When you touch the trim tab base itself and feel the circle, that's how you know it's the trim tabs, and the square is the bow thruster, just so you don't operate the wrong one by accident. Got a grab handle here, 2 drink holders. Here's the all-important charging station just in here. Keys go in here, and our flat screen Simrad display, dual display, really, really smartly done just here. All your boat systems forward of the wheel is adjustable, key start in the middle, and your anchor operation where it needs to be, just on the left-hand side of the wheel. We do have a footrest for the port side seat just there, and the driver and navigator have their own built-in footrest here, and the VHF is located at the navigator's feet just here. So going forward, let's have a look at the sun lounge. We have our midships cleats slightly forward of where they would normally be. That's because we have our windows on the side. If you haven't noticed in other videos, even some that I've done before, those windows just give you a really cool sight line when you're pulling some tight turns on this boat, and your vision, your experience from the helm is so much more exciting, because when you're cutting those angles, you see more, which is kind of fun. But up here on the sun lounge, we've got, below me, we have access to the cabin, good for ventilation. It's also an emergency exit. And then we have 2 drink holders here and here. This is fine for sitting on at speed. Once again, that's because this style of hull is not a style that's going to bounce around and endanger you. That's our VHF. So, where was I? We got our forward cleats just here and here, and then the whole anchor setup is underneath this location just here. We actually utilize this part of the bow for boarding med style on and off, because we have a step here and a step here, and it's all plenty grippy. But the anchor setup itself is really, really awesome and unique to Saxdor, and I'll show some pictures of that. This area here can